Hi everyone, Kevin the Geeky Gamer here. Now, my girlfriend got me this new Logitech camera for Christmas, and I'm gonna try to make some videos with it. Sometimes me and Jesse won't always be able to do videos from our location that we usually do it at, so I'm gonna try to make a couple of videos through my room, and hopefully, may this setup will work, may it not. Let me know on the feedbacks. But the topic I wanted to talk to you today was about can you like a game of any genre, even though you hate that genre? Like, can you love RPGs and yet hate RPGs? Can you love sports, like parts of sports games, but hate other parts of what sports games have been entailed? Like, I know some people love sports games because they're simple, they reflect football, baseball, hockey, whatever. Some people hate that they're actually based on actual stats, because even if you want to play your favorite team and your team's probably the worst team of the league in that year, it's very, very hard to compete with other teams who have way better players, way better stats. It all comes down to gameplay and mathematics. Now, what I want to talk about is I love playing RPGs. I hate playing RPGs at the same time, though. There's so many problems with RPGs that just seem like it's just so slow and archaic. I don't know. I feel like a lot of Western RPGs have tried to streamline the process more faster now. By having not as much grinding, not as much repetitive motions, not as much backtracking as much as they can. Like there's several games that come to mind, like Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim is like backtracking, all that stuff, but it's fun. It's explorative. It doesn't make you just go back or stay in one area forever and then keep you grinding that wheel to level up and get experience points. Obviously, JRPGs are the biggest culprit of this, but then again, that could be just a different culture thing. Japanese RPGs have always been that way, where you have to level up and stay in a certain area and grind and then get better weapons, and then you slowly, gradually get better. If you get beaten by a boss, sometimes it's not really about the strategy you're using. Sometimes it is the strategy that you're using. But sometimes if you just level enough levels, you'll beat that boss no matter what, whether your strategy is flawed or not, or unless there's a not game breaking, unless there is a specific strategy, like having to use a certain spell in order to beat the boss or something like that. Anyways, I've always felt that there's a lot of genres that are really fun, but a lot of the things that I hate about them is how they hold you back so much. One of them being like action adventure games. Like, a lot of them don't have good platforming jumps or any good platforming puzzles or adventure parts to them, but yeah, they have really satisfying gameplay and really satisfying action. Third-person shooters come to mind. They're very terrible when they try to do like jumping and then jumping down and then switching from level to level. Like, the only one that can come to mind straight off the top of my head is the Resident Evil franchise, 4, 5, and 6. The shooting in Resident Evil and the third-person action and the combos and all that stuff is really, really good. It's really fun and enjoyable. But I really hated having to jump from one platform to the next, or climb up this ladder, or climb up this box. It felt always very, very clunky, and I hated that about it. And you could say that, genres these days in 2016 and above have been mixing different elements. Like, Borderlands is a mix of a Diablo-style loot grind system, mixed with a little bit of leveling, mixed with talent trees that I've only used to only see like in WoW and other MMOs like that. Like, and it's also a shooter at the same time. So there's a lot of mixing of genre nowadays. So it's very hard to judge a whole genre by itself, because so many games have borrowed the systems of other genres to enhance their own games and make their own gameplay and reward system more rewarding. Right now I'm currently playing Dead Rising 4, and Dead Rising 4 is a really, really fun game. It has a crafting system. You put crazy weapons and crazy like funny little items and gadgets, like a swordfish bow. You put a bow and a swordfish together and it shoots swordfish. That's really fun. But it also has you level up by how many zombies you kill, and you also gain a talent tree and see where you want to put your talent points in. Do you want to put it in survival? Do you want to put it more towards shooting? Do you want to put it more towards melee weapons? Or do you want to put it more towards crafting? A game like that borrows a lot of different systems, but what genre is it? Is it an action-adventure game? Is it an RPG? Is it a zombie killing game? Is it a shooter? Because it does have shooting sections of it. You do go into third person, aim, and shoot. We don't know. But all I know is that there's just certain genres that, like certain tropes, I guess, I would want to say, of certain genres that I love and hate at the same time. RPGs right now have just been really bugging me in my mind. I just hate grinding. Grinding should serve a purpose. It should serve to learn new abilities, new skills. But if it's all it is just little number stats getting a plus up or a minus down, like, what's the point? I leveled up from 15 to 20 all that's changed was how much a little bit of HP has changed, a little bit of my attack stat. I didn't get any new abilities. It was just literally number crunching. I hate that. I think that's very boring, but again, it could be just the fault of JRPG systems and how that genre and that culture works. But in Western RPGs, you know, you try to give more significant, meaningful choices to your RPG systems, but then again, a lot of games have been taking away RPG systems from their games. Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, you completely dropped the whole talent tree system of where you wanted to put your points and all that stuff, and it went for a more streamlined, more simple one where here's like one ability, power that up all the way up. Then it gets a little bit too simple. I don't want it that way either. I want to be able to think about where I want to put my points. But then again, some games are just harder to get back into. I was trying to get back into KOTOR. I love KOTOR. KOTOR is one of my favorite things. I couldn't get past the character creation screen because I didn't know where to put my points, because the points are so vital to how your character build will be later on, and you don't want to level up too much because then you can't get enough Jedi points and all these other things on all these other complex systems and meta games behind the game. I'm wondering, do other people have to go through that too? Do other people have to suddenly make it homework to understand how to play this game? It's just so much tedious work sometimes. I understand that people want challenge. People want to be mentally challenged in that way, to be able to think, strategize, all that stuff. But there should be, I don't know, I think there needs to be a compromise between knowing how to streamline a game and knowing how to make it enjoyable at the same time. Because to me, that wasn't enjoyable. But then again, I put that on myself. I know that there's builds out there. I know that people have theories on what the best builds are. I looked it all up. It just became more confusing. I could have just gone with my own build, but I didn't want to get stuck, because sometimes games like that, where if you mess up in the beginning of your build and you didn't put enough points in persuasion, or you didn't put enough points in your attack skills, something, right? Then you almost screw yourself out of the game, because then you won't be strong enough, or you put your wrong points in the wrong places for certain part of the games. I know a lot of games are not built that way anymore, but that's just one of my fears and frustrations that I can never get over. So that's why character creation builds are always so... they're both like intimate, in the way that I love creating my character, making them how they look, giving them a personality and a background, but they're also very, very infuriating, and I'm almost fearful of it, because then I don't know which points I should put where, and I won't be able to understand until I have gone at least a couple hours into the game to understand, okay, like magic in this game sucks, I should just be putting my points in physical. But what if I had already started as a magic build, thinking that it would be viable? Things like that, you know. Sometimes they don't always work out, sometimes they do. And I don't know if that's, you know, my own fault, or is that the fault of the developer not thinking those things through, or making it more streamlined, or having different options. Some games have crazy cool options where if you want to play just the story and not worry about the gameplay and mechanics, the option's there. And I think, honestly, I think that should be an option for a lot of RPGs, because a lot of these RPGs take like 60 to 70 hours to beat. I'm already getting older. I don't have that much time to play video games as I once had when I was younger. But I do want to experience those same stories, those same characters. Right now I'm playing Tales of Vesperia, Final Fantasy 15, all these other games that take so much time investment. And I want to get through them. I want to be able to play them. But then suddenly an action adventure game like the Uncharted collection or Dragon Quest Builders just seem more fun to me, because you're having more fun as you're going through it, and not have to grind or worry about that. Suddenly you're 20 levels behind this area, or you're 10 levels below to be able to fight this boss. So you go back to the grind. I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to the grind. Why can't you just make it challenging, but at a good pace? That's why a lot of people praise South Park, to Stick of Truth, because one, it was a 30-hour RPG. There almost was no grinding. Like, playing the game was your grind. Playing the game through it, you felt powerful. It was more about strategy rather than numbers. But things like that. But I divert. Is there any things about genres that you just hate? I mean, I know there's lots of things that I hate about certain other genres, but I don't want to cover that on this video. But I just want to kind of rant about RPGs, because that's been on my mind lately. So let me know with the comments below and all that stuff. And let me know how you like this Logitech camera. It's the HDC790, something like that. The point is, I heard it's a very good camera for a lot of people who like to do YouTube videos, and hopefully this won't be the only way I do videos. I still want to do videos the other format, just that when I can't get along with Jesse, I mean, when we can't get together or make the time to make those videos, we're gonna have to do it this way, because that way I'm able to at least keep a video up every time, at least every week. I'm trying to be consistent and make a video a week. So let me know what genres you hate. or certain tropes or certain aspects of certain genres that feel like keeps you away, and let me know what things of games and genres that you do like. Like, I love platforming. If a game that was an RPG had really good platforming from, let's say, a Super Mario game, that'd be really, really cool. And if you liked having a shooter with a talent tree system where you can choose where you put your skills and how that affects your gameplay and how you interact with the game, that's cool too. I love that personally, and I love loot grind systems. I hate the Diablo one where it's all random, but I do love how Borderlands does it where it is random, but certain bosses do have a higher chance of dropping a specific weapon. That I extremely like. So let me know and geek out.